Hello, everyone. Welcome back into another episode of The Three View. Today, we are joined by Rochester Grizzlies head coach Tyler Veen. How's it going today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. So we'll kind of jump right on into last season. So it was the first year with you under the helm for, head coach of the Grizzlies. What was your biggest takeaway?
I think just learning every single day. I mean, when you jump from an assistant coaching role to a head coaching role, you don't realize how many behind the scenes duties there are to
Mhm.
do. And that's a testament to learning from Chris Ratzlaff before I took over with the head coaching position. He took a lot off my plate as an assistant coach where I could just coach, right, and learn
Mhm.
from him. But then from the flip side of that, just seeing now in this role what you all have to do. It's behind the scenes, the bus trips, the equipment orders, everything that aligns with that, and just learning how to manage personalities as a face that is making the final decisions now versus just being the supporting cast member. So learned a lot, but definitely always willing to learn more. So
Yeah, for sure. And, it's no secret that you guys kill it in terms of advancement. This year, you had five players selected in the NA draft, four signed tenders, and another five go off to college. What does it mean to you knowing that you play such a large role in getting these players to the next level?
well, I think that's why we're here, right? It's our focus and our philosophy is on development. Obviously, we like to win and that kind of coexists with it, but we like to go for the younger player. Like we have our own internal rule where we only want to try to carry so many 20-year-olds because we want to take in these younger guys to elevate them to advance them to the North American League, right? I mean, it's set in stone with the NA3 and the NA that's the quickest way up to the NA, right?
Right.
It's if you need some time, you come develop with us either in the NA3 or the NAPHL. But obviously, for the junior ready guys to come to the NA3, if you need some time, like we tell our guys, it's all about timing. It's right fit, right time, right place, right coach. Like a lot of our guys, they're close to being in the NA and they just need a chance. And we're happy to just provide that opportunity. Like we just want to provide as many opportunities for our guys as we can. Obviously, what they do with that opportunity is up to them, but we're going to
Right.
try and get them as ready as we can for that opportunity. So then potentially they can stick at the North American League level and continue to advance their hockey career. So yeah, that's a huge piece of what we do down here. Develop the person first and foremost, and then we're trying to develop and advance the player. So
Yeah, for sure. And looking at the team statistics from last year, you guys had the best PK overall in the league at 91%, in addition to the fifth best power play with 21.6%. Talk about the success you guys had on special teams and how you plan to replicate that this upcoming year.
yeah, I got to give shout out to my two assistants, Coach Brandon and Coach Bob. They both run the PK and power play. Obviously, kind of just overlook some of that, but a lot of it with that stuff is just getting the right players and getting the right buy-in, right? When it comes to PK, you got to find the right guys that are willing to work hard, block shots, do whatever it takes to keep that puck out of your zone. Obviously, we want to replicate that every year, right? We want to be above
Right.
90% killing. We hold our hat on that if we do go down, we could potentially even go score shorthanded goals. That's our goal, right? But first and foremost is killing that off. And then in regards to the power play, it's the same thing. Finding the right mix of guys to throw together. Like last year we had a power play unit with three defensemen on it. It's find another power play unit with one defenseman on it, sometimes five forwards. I mean, just finding that group that is creative, understands what the plan is, and essentially you should score hopefully 20% on the power play. That's the goal and see what happens. But I think it's just finding the right combo, right mix of guys and letting them run with it from there and just showing them the guidelines. So, I mean, obviously the goal is to replicate that every single season. Who knows if we're able to this year, but we actually have our goal set high and we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. And as we look forward to this upcoming year, obviously you had a large number of players move on. And with your main camp wrapping up recently, what kind of players are you looking to bring in for this new roster?
Just guys that will buy into the culture first and foremost. Like we always say, if you're not a good person, we don't care how good you are at hockey, you're not going to play for us. I think
Mhm.
that's the first stepping stone is checking that character box. I mean, every coach is going to say that, but we truly mean that with that. And then from there is, can you compete? Are you going to go hard? Are you coachable? Are you willing to take the extra mile for the guys sitting next to you, whether you're even scratched in the stands or you're playing every single night? It's preaching and finding those kids with the character that you can coach and mold them into something that's going to be a future stud or future role guy, future doctor, future whatever, it's, you want to
Mhm.
mold them into different people, different players, and you got to find the right mix. So just finding the right players within the culture and how we have it. I guess there's not really a typical player we look for, right? It's just a matter of what's going to put the orchestra or the band together. You need different players that are going to mix in and eventually lead the team. So that's kind of where we're at and with what we're looking at, guys, and how we're bringing them in.
And looking at your social media, we see that you guys are out in the community quite a bit doing, various events, throughout Rochester. Talk about the community support that you guys have.
Yeah, it's been huge. I mean, we're trying to grow it since COVID. We kind of had a drop. That was the year before I got here. Was kind of a drop in attendance, and we've been successful. And we're trying to just continue to grow that. Being out in the community with Minnesota Special Hockey, our guys love to do that. They're some of our biggest fans. They're sitting on the glass at warmups. They just
Mhm.
love it. Minnesota Sled Hockey, OMC. It's with the working out with the mites and termites in town, and we're trying to get back into the schools, try to do what we can, and just build that community support and engagement, especially with the youth, because the youth is our fan base.
Right.
And with the youth comes the parents too, right? So it's just understanding, getting the big city behind us and trying to navigate that way and kind of be something the community can build around.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at this, the overall, schedule for this year, you guys are moving from the West Division back to the Central Division. What were your overall thoughts when you found out you guys are making this switch, and how excited are you to be back in the Central?
I mean, it was mixed feelings right away. We've kind of been tossed around the last 3 years, but we're excited. I mean, the West Division was strong too, right? But same with the Central. I mean, we played in the Central for the 5 previous year up until last year. So
Hmm.
it's still going to be no nights off. A lot of respect for our opponents here. A lot of the same people that I'll get to see again. It was fun playing in the West. It was closer drives, right? It was closer travel for our guys, sleeping in our own beds a little bit more, but being back in the Central, there's a lot of good teams, a lot of good hockey teams out here, and we'll see. We'll see how we compete with them coming back in here, and hopefully we can continue the success that we've had both in the Central and the West Division. Looking forward to it for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on this call today, and we look forward to seeing what you guys can do this upcoming year.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.